morning. Welcome to Viewpoint, your program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. Today we go with personalities and a perspective or two. Ladies, may I have the air for just a couple seconds, Judy? You all right?
Well, stick to the couple seconds and don't get carried away.
Well, as both of our listeners out there will remember, we always try to start Viewpoint with a kudo or two.
Yes.
You might have been aware that we just had a Veterans Day weekend. There was a significant amount of publicity about that, and thank goodness for that. So the kudos would be to each and every one who contributed to, in any way, shape, or form, to the activities of Veterans Day weekend, with particular appreciation to, again, to the St. John's United Church of Christ, the youth of there several years ago, I think maybe 10 or 15 now. There's a difference between 10 and 15, isn't there? Anyway, for a long time, they have made it a point to honor veterans, all veterans, and so last week was at the American Legion, and young Mr. Richard with his Nut Hill barbecue, Nut Hatch, I'm sorry about that, barbecue, has served a fine meal for us. Nice program. The folks really went all out, and it was a nice evening, so particularly kudos to them. And just a good baseball throw away up here to over my right shoulder, Eminence Christian Church, Saturday morning, had a wonderful breakfast for the veterans, well attended, very, very nicely done. With the opening bit of somebody went out there and put all those flags up around that whole corner of Eminence Christian Church out here in the country, and it was just beautiful. And so kudos to those folks out there. Really made it, it was an important morning for a lot of us.
Yes.
There are still a few of us from WW2 able to crawl up the steps, roll down. Now, let's get serious. But before I get serious with the subject matter of the day, I'd like for one of our guests, Cindy Aussieker, wife of that pill roller, once in a while plays go to golf, and she and Margot Williams of Don and Wilbur Williams fame have come together. And tell us, Cindy, about this project for your school youngsters, because I think it's very, very important, and it's making a lasting impression and being of significant help to youngsters. And it's very important that we talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the tour homes.
All right. Okay. Our project is called Moms Who Care. Moms Who Care. Yes, and it was started in East Peoria by a lady who kind of had the same feelings that we did about kids who didn't have anything. And so she started this program at the East Peoria High School. And we had a friend who moved over that way, and when she retired, she started helping them. And every time we were around her, she was talking about this Moms Who Care, Moms Who Care. And when Marla and I retired, our idea was we wanted to do something for kids. I mean, we've done it for 39 years, and we wanted to do more. So we went over and visited and fell in love with it. So we came back and we started at the high school last school year. We're a non-for-profit organization, and we provide essential needs for students who don't have them. So we have hygiene items, we do snacks, and we do school supplies. We also have kind of partnered up with Pink Shutter so that we give the kids a coupon once a month. They can go in and get clothes, a whole outfit at Pink Shutter for free. We have had people in the community who have bought haircuts at different beauty shops and barber shops in town. We've handed those out to kids so that they could get haircuts and stuff, and it's been so rewarding. This year we started at Lincoln Junior High also, so we're at the Lincoln High School on Thursday mornings and Lincoln Junior High on Thursday afternoons, and it's just wonderful. The hugs that you get. I mean, there are so many wonderful stories. I could sit here and talk to you for a half hour about this because it's a wonderful program, and this community has embraced it so much. Wonderful. We have gotten donations of supplies, money, all of these things that we've gotten. I mean, everybody says thank you to us, but it's thank you to our community, because we couldn't do it without the community's help, and the community has been wonderful.
But here are two
Wonderful
teachers.
story.
Yeah, really, Judith. Here are two teachers who have retired after significant careers, made a big impact over these many years with all their youngsters. I'm perhaps a little more familiar with it because I've been in and out of Northwest School, and I've watched the girls in action. And they could sit around and read books and so forth, or go down to the alley-by.
Now. We like
But
cheeseburgers there.
These two ladies have seen a need, and instead of just saying, "Well, that's nice," they've done something about it. So I take my hat off to you symbolically
Thank you.
here, Cindy and Marla. You've done a great job. Now, if somebody wants to maybe make a little contribution to that, it takes money to do this. Tell us how somebody would get in contact with you.
Well, you can either get hold of me on my cell phone number or Marla's cell phone number, or either one of our homes. We also have our bank account is at State Bank of Lincoln. So if you wanted to do a monetary, you could just go up there and say you wanted to deposit something.
That's the easy way.
That's an easy way. It is.
It's the easiest way.
Yes.
Yes. So if anybody feels constrained to help out with this project, go to State Bank of Lincoln. Just tell them you want to give something to Mom Who's Care.
And we have a drop-off box at Rick Ham's State Farm office. So if you have, shower gel or deodorant or something like that you'd like to donate, you can drop it off at Rick Ham's office, and then they get that to us. So.
Two ladies who've seen an extra need and done something about it, Judith Kay.
Yeah, I think this is wonderful.
You bet it is. You bet. That's why I wanted to take a few minutes. Now we're going to take a tour. So why don't you introduce our guest officially now, and we'll get into the subject matter of the day.
Okay, I think that would be appropriate. Anyway, these ladies are members of Women's Club, and it started with the Junior Women's Club eons ago, that there was a home tour. And there's still a home tour. There may not be a Junior Women's Club, but there's a home tour by George, and it's coming right up. And these ladies are spearheading it. They're that kind of people, who
Get
put
things
their
done.
pedal to the metal all the time. Cindy Aussieker and Judy Rader will be heading this up, and they're going to tell us a little bit about the homes that you can see on the tour and where the tickets are available and all. Cindy, would you like to start?
Sure. Our home tour is coming up. It's always the first Sunday in December. Every other year. We always have it every other year. So this year it's coming up December the 2nd. It is from 1 to 5 p.m. We have tickets available right now until that Sunday. So through Saturday, December 1st. You can get them from either contacting a Women's Club member. They're $8. We have them available at Cindy's Cottage, which is across from RP Lumber. Little place there.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have them at Guest House Coffee House down on the square. So you can get them from those those two places, or from a Women's Club member for $8. If you wait till Sunday, the only place you can buy them is at the Women's Club building, and they will be $10 on the day of the tour.
And you have 5 homes?
We have 5 homes.
And they belong to whom?
Well, we have our first house. I'm just looking at the ticket here. The first house is Seth Goodman's house, and a lot of people are like, "Well, we've seen Seth's house." No, you haven't seen this house. He's been on 2 other times with 2 different houses. So this is his newest home. It's on North Union Street, right next to one of the houses that he built. So we have his home as usual. It's going to be decorated beautifully. He's already kind of given us a little sneak peek on Facebook with some of his trees, so they're just gorgeous. On Chestnut Street, between 10th and 11th, we have 2 houses there. They're both small homes, but very, very unique and interesting. We have Dan Wilson's home. Dan's house was owned by Roland Genzel, which we'll kind of get into that history here in a little bit.
His father was the architect.
Yes, the architect.
Genzel and Deal.
Yes. And this house has just got a lot of very unique architectural things in it. It's just, it's very small, but when we walked through it, it was just so interesting to see the built-ins and the things that it had in it. It's going to be very, very nice.
It's a home that was built long ago.
Yes, very long ago. And then the house next door to it, Jean and Jim Lynn's house. That house is related to this other one. Grandma and Grandpa lived in that house.
Oh.
So another very unique, I don't know, a lot of the old antique-y type things and stuff like that. It's very, very interesting. We also have Myrna Leith's house out on Westminster off of 5th Street. And Myrna, she's been working on this for 2 years. 2 years ago when we had our tour, she decided she wanted to do the tour of homes. And she's been working on it for 2 years. So she's been collecting all of these items. Her house, each room has a theme. It's just going to be decorated. I mean, if you want to get in the Christmas spirit, I'm sure that's a house to go into, because it's going to be really decorated very nicely. And then our last house is Paul and Jenna, Crombie's house on College Street.
Okay.
3-story house. The top floor is a home theater, so that's kind of unique. But this, I do want to warn people that this is a house with stairs. So if you have trouble with stairs, it's going to be a difficult house for you to be able to go into. But it's another beautiful.
And
beautiful
it was
home.
Located where, did you say?
On College Street, 421.
So that
College
would be
Avenue.
an older home,
Yes.
too.
Yes, it is. And then we have our Women's Club building. I got to make sure I put that plug in there, because not only can you get your tickets there, we're going to have a bake sale there. The Women Club members are all wonderful cooks, and they have some wonderful baked items. We'll have complimentary coffee, hot tea, hot chocolate, and when you come in to get your baked items and have a cup of coffee, we're going to have entertainment for you. And we have contacted local schools, so we're going to have Zion Lutheran School will be coming and singing and doing their chimes. We have Chester East Lincoln School that's coming to do some. District 27 choir, and the high school madrigal dance or singers will be there also. So,
I thought Judy was going to sing.
So come in and get a little music and buy baked goods. We also have a raffle going on there, and this year we have some wonderful raffle items. So. Got a lot going on.
Well, you can fill somebody's whole Sunday, can't you?
Could.
Yeah.
Definitely. Get started early and stay to the end.
Well, Judy Rader, do you your job to sit there and take tickets, or are you going to be the entertainment of the
whatever
day?
Cindy tells me to do.
Yeah.
So I want to also expand on the Ginzel angle of it all. Not only is Roland Ginzel the architect's home on the tour and his parents' home on the tour. When we visited the Crombie home, Jenna, I had a question about some of the leaded glass windows in her home, and she said, I've got the plans, the original plans. Would you like to see them? And she rolled out these plans.
Wonderful.
Guess who the architect had been for their home?
Ginzel and Beale.
Roland Ginzel,
Is
yes.
that right? Well, he must have been the man of the hour back
and
then.
Sue Beaver, for one of our first programs this year, we purchased, the two of us did not, but in 1927, our building was purchased by the Women's Club there and paid off within 2 years, this was during the Depression, so that was very impressive.
Yeah.
But the architect for the Women's Club building was also Roland Ginzel, and his name just keeps popping up.
Was
we are.
that not a church?
It was a
initially?
Jewish synagogue.
Jewish synagogue.
It still
I think
has
the people
a stained glass.
Both of our listeners out there should know about the history of that. That has been the Women's Club building since I was a youngster, But way back, that was built. We had a fairly substantial Jewish community in this community here, and that's a double word there, honey.
Yeah, they're okay.
English.
We'll
What do you
take
do that in English? I forgot how they would do that.
We're off
anyway.
duty.
But we had a very significant Jewish population, and they built themselves. This was their temple, and ultimately became a real asset to the community. And in days of yore, the Women's Club, they would have dances there for our high schoolers.
Really?
And as my great friend Phil Harrison used to say, it was a real belly rub. And you had to know Phil to appreciate that, because it was packed. All these kids from high school came and they just packed it. And we had a band. You could get a band for $25, those days. And in that little shell there at the east end of the building was their band shell. And there's a lot of history there.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at the front of the building, there is still a Star of David as part of the architecture at the top of above the front door. So, but it served us well.
Well, how's the advance ticket sale going, ladies?
I think it's been going pretty good. We had to have some more tickets printed the other day, so
Good. That's a good sign.
That is
That's
a
a
good
good
sign.
sign.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so yes, we'll know a little bit more today. We have our membership meeting today, and people will be bringing in their unused tickets and stuff, and we'll find out then how the sales are going with our membership.
Well, Jim and I just had a meeting too, and we had discussed the fact that we have sponsors that we need to accommodate. So go right ahead, Mr. Rash. Right back live in the studios here, WLCN, high on the hill on County Road 2250, also known as Lazy Row. Nothing lazy on this studio. We all work hard up here. Off air, we were talking about some of the history of these homes that are on the tour for the Women's Club. Sorry about that, ladies. Old people have a way of slipping,
We'll be Junior Women's Club.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, they'd be happy to be in that category. But there is a significant amount of history. Judy, you just talked about one in particular. Give us a little rundown on that.
Well, the Crombie home, as they were doing some research on the past history of their home, discovered that the land where their home is located was originally plotted by one of Alexander Hamilton's son, one of our founding fathers. And we've done some research on that, and we keep coming up with a different son's name. So that's why in the program we just listed it as one of Alexander
Yes.
Hamilton's sons,
Yeah,
because the research that we've come up with has all had a little bit different information other than he did a lot of work in central Illinois, plotted a lot of land around Peoria, and also became an Illinois legislator at one time.
Oh, did he?
So we know it's really one of his boys. We just don't know for sure which one. So,
There's so much history here, and we're so lucky that we have people who are still conversant with some of these people and some of these things. Elkhart really has a good idea with their historic tours and dinners and things where they share all this stuff. I wish somebody who was smarter and more industrious than I am would start something like that here. There's so much that we could learn from one another.
it's true.
We do have some historians in town, but they do a lot of good. I tell you, down there at the Genealogical Society there on North Chicago Street, Broadway's the delineation there. There are a lot of people just wander in there and do their own research, and they've just got a plethora of information there. It just takes time to sit there and dig it out.
Yeah.
These tours that you sponsor every other year, people like to see new homes and so forth, and that's all very nice. Built one once back in 1963. Wow, that's a long time ago. Anyway, but of more interest on your tours is the older homes, of those with historical significance. And again, this year you have some. The Ginzel House, which is unique little brick architecture there on Chestnut Street. Yes, Chestnut Street. There's Monday and Chestnut. I'd get those. You'll get there, Judy, one of these days. You get
I might already be there.
How dare she sit there and snicker at us?
The old fool doesn't know the difference between Chestnut and Monday. But I remember that house well because the son of Mr. Ginzel was Roland Ginzel, and he was a couple years ahead of me, 2 years ahead of me in school, and a very gifted artist in his own right, even then. in his high school days. Very gifted. And he married a delightful lady who is also quite a noted artist. And in fact, as I think about this in conversation right now, she did the exterior facades. As one who said, it's just a facade, you know. She did the facade on the important buildings on the Chicago River just as they empty into Lake Michigan on the north side of the river there.
Oh, really?
And she did all that, and it's very significant work, yes. Yeah. So, specifically, this tour starts and it's on the first Sunday.
It's first Sunday in December, 1 to 5. Again, if you want to purchase tickets, they are available at the Women's Club building only on that day. In advance, they would be from any Women's Club member or from Cindy's Cottage on Woodlawn or the Guest House Coffee Shop on the downtown square. And one thing we do need to mention, too, is in the past, we've had little footies that we've asked people to put on over their shoes. But it's kind of been more of a bother than it has been a help.
Really?
And so this year we're eliminating those, and we are asking people to remove their shoes. So when you plan to come, plan your footwear accordingly, not something you have to lace and unlace, because you will be slipping your shoes off.
That's important.
At each home.
And why not? The inevitable question comes up, well, what if they have inclement weather?
That's what happened last year. We had inclement weather. And what's happened in the past with the little footies is that people didn't take them off before they left the house. So they walked outside in them. So we're kind of that's...
Sure to get that value.
Yes, definitely. So last year when we had the snow, it was just so much easier to ask people to take their shoes off. We gave them a bag. They put their shoes in the bag and carried it through. And then that just helps protect the floors in the people's homes and stuff, so.
But it's just common courtesy not to come in with your dirty shoes and march through somebody's house.
Right.
Well, you mentioned the operative word there.
What was that?
2 words, common and courtesy. Sometimes that's not so common anymore.
Well, it used to be.
And that's the more's the pity, as they say. It's sometimes amazing how just dumb people can be. But that's my commentary for today. Are we still on air, Mr. Ray? But that's a fact.
It is.
And you have to be accepted. You're going to have some stupid people go through her. Now, another thing the homeowner has to be concerned about is stuff disappearing. That should not happen.
Knock on wood, it's not ever happened.
I know it's not happening.
And we do have hostesses that are stationed at strategic points in the home who encourage people to keep moving. We don't want to rush you through, but we want you to keep moving and make sure that the homeowner's belongings are not disturbed. And as I said, nothing ever has been, but we don't want it to happen, so we're being careful.
We're living in the real world, unfortunately.
That's true.
Who'd have thought we'd be so stupid with one another on the matters politic, you know? It's just incredible how damn dumb people can be sometimes. So go ahead, Cindy.
Last time we had it, we also had some people that used the restroom in the homes, and we asked that once again. I mean, I was just shocked because I just didn't think anybody would do something like that. So, make sure that you be respectful, like we said earlier. Be respectful of these people's homes. Treat them like you would want someone to treat your home.
Well, you're using a word there that's so archaic.
Respect.
That's unfortunate.
We don't do that anymore.
If you need a stop, again, the Women's Club building will be open the whole day. There's a restroom there. Sit down and have a cup of complimentary coffee or hot chocolate and enjoy the music, and then go again.
Do you have a number on how these fundraisers have treated you as far as income is concerned? It's a nice little piece of business for you, isn't it?
Yes, I don't have the exact number from 2 years ago, but yes, it is, and it helps us do a lot of community projects.
Why don't you elaborate a little bit on some of the projects?
She's got all that. That's what she's here for.
Okay.
All right.
I got to make her work for her pay.
I knew she was here for a purpose. I wasn't a free coffee.
That's right.
No. Well, Women's Club do have a number of monetary donations we make. We also support several organizations in town. We provide summer music scholarships for students in the junior high schools in town. We host a blood bank. We give money to the Salvation Army. We are active supporters of veterans. Last year we made 150 Christmas stockings and sent them to veterans.
Thank you for that.
Those go overseas, don't they, actually?
They do, to active duty soldiers.
Active duty soldiers.
Right. We fill them, and they go to active duty soldiers.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah. We support the Salvation Army. We do monetary donations and food drives for our local food pantries. We used to recycle glass, which wasn't something that we spent money on, but we thought it was important to help our community, and we worked with the Logan County Solid Waste Organization to recycle thousands and thousands of pounds of glass once a month. But now with our new recycling program in Lincoln, that's not a need as it was before. We're getting ready to wrap all the presents that the Shop with a Cop program does. The policemen take the children out to purchase the items, and then we have a room full of toys and games.
This is our second year, I believe, of helping the
And you
police
furnish
officers.
all those-
Yes, and we wrap them all.
We wrap them.
Yeah.
No, they collect money. The police officers collect the money with their Shop with the Cop. And then they go out with the children and buy the things, and they bring the stuff to us, and then we wrap them so that the police officers then can deliver them to their homes. So they'll have something to open on Christmas.
That is so nice.
That's a great deal.
So we support the summer reading program at the Lincoln Library. We do monetary support for several music programs in town, the Lincoln Choral Society, the high school madrigal choir, as well as the Lincoln Junior High School Band. So we give a lot of money away. We spend money on projects that are supportive to our community. And I don't know, you blink an eye and the profits from the tour of homes are gone.
Very quickly.
It is a very good fundraiser, but it's a job as Cindy's done a wonderful job, and it's a year-long job to prepare for it.
We started last June.
Probably, maybe
Beginning of
even
June.
before then.
Yeah.
That dispels the thought of the Women's Club. A bunch of folks sitting around with broad rim hats and lace gloves on, sitting there sipping tea.
We don't have time for
We're
that.
out doing something. We're a
That's
vital
true.
part of the community.
That's true. And we've already have one house, which we won't talk about today, but it's already asked to be on our next tour. So we're starting
really?
now for the
Yes,
next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So any of you
Yeah.
out there listening, if you have a home that you would like to have on the tour, contact
Give
us.
us a call.
Now, there's a point there too, ladies and listeners, both of them. There's a point about that. The homeowners make a sacrifice in and of themselves
That's true.
in getting their house ready for this, and also opening their house up to strangers. There's a lot of people, and understandably so, don't want anybody lurking through their house.
Right.
And we understand that. So it takes kind of a little special cooperative effort on the part of the homeowners to join with you in offering their homes for this tour of homes.
True. People that are proud of their homes. And some of the homes are decorated to the hilt, and some are very simple. It doesn't have to be a show place of Christmas decorations to be on the tour. Myrna Leith's house is above and beyond. Every room
Well,
has
she's
a
motivated
theme.
to do
She
it.
is, and
She
her
loves
home
that.
is beautiful by itself. And I've said to her, Myrna, you don't have to do anything else. It's perfect like it is. And she said, I'm having so much fun. I want to do this. So
bless her heart.
She has really enjoyed it,
Yes.
and we appreciate her.
Oh, definitely.
As well as we appreciate all of the homeowners.
Well, she could be your outside salesman and go to people and tell them how much fun it is to show your home.
She's our poster child. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
You know, it doesn't come under this aegis, but where we live, it'd be nice for people to see how nice those duplex apartments are. We live in the Christian Village now, in the duplex apartments, and they're just lovely. It won't accommodate more than 6 people at a time going through there.
Yeah, right.
But they're quite nice, and the public should know about those homes out there because
That's true.
and you have to get on the waiting list to get there,
Yes.
and you have to
In
behave
demand.
yourself once you get there
Yeah.
too, Judith. So.
Yeah, I suppose they have standards.
Now, you're already making plans, looking ahead, and you've said that you just alluded to the fact you are somebody who's volunteered to put their house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well,
Right?
that's neat.
And it's a good house.
Yeah.
People are, stay tuned for 2 years from now. Yeah. And if any woman out there is interested in Women's Club, we would always welcome visitors to our meetings, or of course we'd love for you to join. We meet the third Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock.
Except for this month.
Except for this month, because the third Wednesday of the month is the day before Thanksgiving. So we're meeting today.
Actually,
Today's
today,
the
yes.
meeting today. Yeah, but we have 67 members. We have a variety of ages, but because we meet during the day, it is harder for the younger working women. But we would still love you to come join
That's
us.
a demographic that has changed significantly from my time. We didn't have working women per se. It was rare to have a lady in the house out working. For economic reasons, some were. But today, in today's active society, you have 67, you say? That's amazing. I think, I don't know what the membership was at its high, but it was always very strong. And I don't think you're very far off the top now. I would guess. I don't think they ever had.
You know, like any
100 members or
organization,
anything
it
like that.
fluctuates. It goes up and down.
Oh, sure.
But 67 gives us a good, strong base.
Well, and I think we need to make clear of this, too, that the General Federation of Women's Club has now decided that men can join the
Well,
Women's
they
Club.
ruined that. You know,
So they said they're not going to change the name. It's still going to be considered Women's Club, but men can join. So,
You know-
Bill, if you want to come join us, we'd love to have you.
we've just got nutty in this society. Why is it?
I'm
that-
seeing a new home tour chairman right there.
Why is it that there's this business with the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts?
I know.
Yeah.
To me, that's a travesty. There's nothing wrong with being a Girl Scout, for goodness sakes.
I know.
And let it be an organization unto its own. It thrived for years that way.
Right.
We've just gone nutty with this gender thing.
I have a friend who directed the play Annie in
Oh,
Springfield,
yeah.
and she said she couldn't believe how many boys signed up to audition to be one of the little girl orphans. And she said, well, you're going to have to wear a dress, and you're going to have to, you will be cast as a girl. Oh, we
Hello.
understand that. We're okay with that.
Now, see, in the way back when, if Jim had signed up to be in Annie, and they told him he had to wear a dress,
I don't think so.
That'd be the end of that. Well, we're all reaching toward being one.
This is way
I
off
used
the
to think Viva the difference,
Oh, it's just so far out of the subject matter today. But this gender thing has just gone absolutely crazy, ladies. It's just hard to believe how dumb people can be about such a simple matter. You is or you ain't.
Yeah.
I did go to a wedding in Chicago, and it was a open gender bathroom at the venue
Hello.
for the reception. And it was all individual stalls, but it was still disconcerting to be washing my hands next to a man at the sink before we left the room.
Yeah.
So
We need that up here.
What's
I want to
ne-
talk. I want to talk to me. I want to see that Korean owner of this place. I want I want a different bathroom up here. Well, now, as you wrap up your final plans, there's a lot of little last-minute details. Cindy, are you pretty much on course for where we're going with this?
I think so. We had a meeting on Monday and with my committee, and everybody, I have a wonderful committee, and I need to put that out there because they have been absolutely fantastic. They've taken the jobs that they had to do, and they've done them. I haven't had to call anybody and say, hey, have you got that done yet? So they've done a wonderful job. We'll have one more meeting the week after Thanksgiving, and tie up any other loose ends that we see, but I don't see that we're going to see any of those
Hey,
at this
speaking
point.
of Thanksgiving, a quick aside, Judith Kay, if I may, under the kudos thing, once again, Zano stepped up and served a whale of a meal with their Thanksgiving meal. It was well done, so
Yeah.
kudos to the folks. And by the way, there are a bunch of hard-working people there, too. Any organization like this, like the Women's Club or the Zano, if things are going to happen, you got a few people that make it work.
That's
And
exactly.
unfortunately,
Well, I want to also, can I give a
Yes.
thank you to our sponsors? Because we do have some sponsors
By
that
all
have
means.
helped with our programs and different things like that. So we have Holland and Berry and Bennett Funeral Home. Harris Hodnett and Moriarty, I'm not from Lincoln, so Insurance Services, Brenda Short from Brady Realtors, State Bank of Lincoln, and the Lincoln Courier. So they have been wonderful sponsors for us, and we recognize them on the back of our tickets, but I just want to give a shout out to them, too.
Well, thank you, because it's important that you do give that shout out. Having been in business for a year or two, you have to pick and choose how much extra money you have to support this or support that. So thank goodness that you have these people come up, because you can't do it without sponsors.
Right. Well, it helps us have a little bit more profit then, too, when we're at the end, so that we can go ahead and do the different projects and stuff that Judy says that we sponsor. So.
Well, all right. I have a question here. Caller called in.
Okay.
Phone didn't even ring. How does the tour homes work? And you can go to any house at random, or does everyone go together? Fair question.
That is a good question. That's a very good question.
Excellent.
You can start wherever you want to start. If you have a ticket, if you've purchased a ticket ahead of time, in our ticket is like a little booklet here, and it has the homes listed. So you can start at any home that you want to start at and go to the next house that you want to go to. So there's nobody, we don't all go together.
Individual.
Just individual, and you can go any time between the hours of 1 and 5. If you can't get out till 3 o'clock, then you start at 3 o'clock.
But don't say you had a busy day and show up at 6:30.
No, I don't. I think the doors will be locked at that point.
Well, there are some people out there who want to see 1 or 2, 3 specific homes.
Definitely.
So they're free to come and go as they please.
Right.
It's true.
Right.
And it is less busy later in the day. Early, there might be some lines, but as the day progresses, you have more time to spend going through the homes. It's not quite as crowded.
It seems that the majority of your homes are older homes.
There are 3 older homes and 2 new homes.
Well, that's as even a split as you can get.
Yeah.
And new homes surely are more efficient and convenient. That's the truth. But there's a lot to be said for older homes. They're homey. You know, they just are. Isn't that right, Bill?
What'd you say? No. Here's a
Just
girl.
say she's right.
There's a charm to them.
Here's a girl sitting at my right whose home is for sale.
Isn't that her older home?
Older home with a ton of charm.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not ready to get out here this winter, but somebody looking for a home next spring might find a real opportunity to buy a wonderful home there, because hers is warm and charming and just as nice as can be. Oh.
We should have put you on the tour, Judy. It would have been like a all-day open house.
And take deposits for anybody who's interested. Are there any pitfalls that you ladies have down through the years that you have encountered that came as kind of blindsided you in a way?
Last year, this is a funny story.
Yes.
That's a pitfall.
We like
As
funny.
hostesses, we also take our shoes off. And at one of the
Oh, my
homes,
goodness,
at the end of the first shift, the second shift people were arriving, and usually the homeowner has like a closet or an area off the beaten path where we can put our coats and shoes. And one of our members, by mistake, slipped on the wrong shoes and left, which then the person who those shoes belonged to chose a different pair. And pretty soon, the very last person did not have shoes that fit.
And I don't think
hysterical.
I still don't think we've gotten that
No,
situated.
the last girl never
She
did.
never did get her
No.
shoes back. So, I mean,
That's hysterical.
I was at
It
the
is.
Women's Club building, and she kind of shuffled in, and I said, "What's the matter? Why are you walking like that?" And she said, "These look like my shoes, but these are not my shoes. They're like 2 sizes too big."
which that means somebody had to get a small pair of shoes.
Yes.
Now that you'd think you'd really know.
You would think you would, yeah.
And it's funny now. It wasn't so funny that day.
No.
No, but I hope everybody, in the end, sometimes when you look back at things, you can see the humor in them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And it is a problem with people, which is what we're trying to do differently this year. When they put the booties over their shoes and then would wear them out through the snow and come to the next house with soaking wet shoes, the people didn't understand that Well, yes, you are still wearing the booties, but that's not going to protect us. So that was a
No.
problem that we're trying to solve.
Yes.
Well, it's great that we should have our tickets in hand beforehand rather than wait for the last minute. And the side issue on that is, if you got the tickets, that means you got their money, and if the weather turns sour, that's tough rocks.
Unfortunately, that's true. We hope that doesn't
But
happen.
even last year or 2 years ago, I always say last year, with the snow that we had, I think we sold like 40 tickets at the Women's Club building
that
that
right?
particular day. The snow made it look very pretty. It really did put you in the Christmas
Yes.
spirit. But we had parking because we had the house out at Lincoln Lakes, and parking out there. Judy's husband was gracious in helping with the parking out there and trying to, because we had to park in their
homeowner, yeah.
yes, in their yard, and trying to get the cars in and out. And we knew it was going to be a problem before the tour, but the day of the tour when the snow was coming down, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. But it worked out. Everything worked out fine, and
we have no dead-end street houses this year.
No.
So that should not be a problem.
everything's pretty much in town, and
It's
parking,
interesting,
good parking.
isn't it? One experience with parking issues, and forevermore, you'll always think, well, we have to be careful now about the parking available.
Right.
Right, and it's something you don't think about in June
No,
when you're
right.
getting ready for the tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Cindy Aussieker and Judy Rader, we appreciate very much your being with us this morning. I have to kind of put a little personal in, Judith Kay. I watched Cindy and her sidekick, Marla Williams, at work at Northwest School. By the way, we've got some great teachers in District 27.
Yes, we have.
We really do. They're enjoying their well-earned retirement now, but they just didn't quit. Moms that care. That's a pretty interesting thing, and I'd like to emphasize that again because they're doing some good for people. Excuse me, please get all choked up about that. They're doing some good for youngsters who need help,
Yes.
and I can't find a better cause than that.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
At this point in time, we'll find a close of some sort. I found this about real estate. The best time to buy a home is always 5 years later.
Yeah.
There's that to be said. Thank you, Cindy Aussieker and Judy Rader, on behalf of the Women's Club.
Thank you.
Thank you.